Dave Trabert is here with the Kansas Policy Institute, and they wrote about this at kansaspolicy.org. Headline, Kansas City's stadium fumble. Denver shows how to play by free market rules. Dave, good morning. It's great to have you here. What could the state of Kansas have learned from what is going on with the Denver Broncos and its stadium issues?
Good morning, Pete. It's great to be here. Well, it's what Denver Broncos management team is doing is just a classic example of letting markets thrive. Government shouldn't be in the business of picking winners and losers. This is what's going on in Denver is proof that these stadium deals don't have to be underwritten by taxpayer dollars. If these are any investment, whether it's an electric battery plant, or a stadium deal, if it's a good deal, it will stand alone on private investment. Government shouldn't be involved in picking winners and losers.
It's so easy to say, but that is the outlier in Denver, as you well know. But what exactly happened out there? Is it just basically the state and the municipality saying, you know, if you want to do something great, but we're not helping you, or is it a little bit deeper than that?
You know, I'm not familiar with exactly all the things behind the scenes that happened out there, but the point is you don't have to do it. Whether it's government there said they won't is kind of irrelevant. Here, the Denver team is saying we'll do this on our own. We can do this on our own, and we'll make it very profitable. Now, certainly. Teams will take money. If you're going to hand out taxpayer money like candy, then sure, they're going to line up. Anybody, a lot of people would line up for that. It's almost hard to fault them for getting in line for their share of the handouts. But government should be focused on doing things that matter to most people, not something narrow that really results in ribbon-cutting events for a small group of people. We have people being taxed out of their homes in Kansas, all across the state. We have enormous property tax deals. We have over 150,000 kids who can't read, basically can't read. We have an enormous education crisis. Politicians should be focused on these big picture issues that touch virtually everyone.
Now, I agree. You know that they'll say, well, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. That will be their argument. And they'll also say about the Star Bond offer to the Chiefs and the Royals, basically it would be new additive revenue, and it does not increase a sales tax anywhere because it's just, once again, the sales tax revenue generated on top of the current sales tax revenues generated. So how would you respond to what they would argue, Dave Trabert?
Well, there's certainly some truth to what they say. But you know, when you have to look at what else is going on. Now, in this case, it's a little different because you're talking about two states. So you can say, well, this state is benefiting at that state's expense. But the region, we're not in isolated markets any longer. We're in global markets. We're in regional markets. This is economic activity that's just shifting from one area to the next. And if you don't think that Missouri is going to find a way to retaliate if this happens, you're smoking the drapes. The next effort is going to hurt Kansas at Missouri's expense. The border war is that truce is long gone. So it's only a matter of time before the pain comes back to visit. They have to start focusing on the big issues that affect everyone.
Dave Trabert, the Kansas Policy Institute, is joining us on KCMO Talk Radio. I know there was something else that stood out to you as well. Jamie Dimon, he runs J.P. Morgan Chase. He is planning a 10-year, $1.5 trillion initiative to shore up America's resiliency. What is it about this deal that you believe is compelling and also applies here locally to Kansas?
Well, again, it's private markets making investments. J.P. Morgan Chase isn't saying the government should do these things. They're saying we're going to do it. J.P. Morgan Chase is putting up to $10 billion of its own capital into investments in private companies that are going to shore up national security interests, bring manufacturing chains back home. They're going to make up to $1.5 trillion available for loans to move these things forward. This is the way that we need to work in America. We have private. We're the best country in the world because we have these free markets. Let them work. Government can't be jumping in and saying we know better. They don't.
They don't, but they want to know better. They want to be involved. They can't help themselves, Dave. So what's it going to take from the private sector to basically say, no, guys, we got it. Please stay away?
Well, and it's going to take from individual taxpayers to say, please, could you go back to Topeka and tell the State Department of Education, no, you're not going to reduce standards to make our kids' outcomes look better. You're going to actually go help them read and do math, at least at grade level. Go back to Topeka and say, we're going to stop these runaway property tax increases, in especially in this part of the state. Go deal with what matters to us, not the ribbon-cutting exercises. Look at what's going and now you talk about payments. Evergy's coming out now wanting another big rate increase. Why? Because of the Panasonic deal. It always comes back to bite taxpayers in the behind.
Okay, lay the foundation for that. You just said that Evergy wants a rate hike where they can charge regular people in Kansas more money for their utilities because of the Panasonic plant in DeSoto that the state basically gave away the farm to. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Now they're saying we're not going to do it yet, but they're asking that for permission to start the process where they can gather the information to make the case that they need to raise rates eventually. Because it's all because of the excess demand put on the system by the Panasonic deal.
Wow.
There's no question that we have grid issues in this country and in the state. There's things that need to be done, but every time there's one of these sweetheart deals, there's always a price to be paid by regular people.
What a shame. That's a great point. Dave Trabert on KCMO Talk Radio. Well, Dave, that's something else to watch because that Panasonic deal, man, I know people like the ribbon cutting on that one too, on the left and the right, but I am in no way convinced that is going to work out great for the taxpayers here in Kansas. Are you?
Yeah. And that's a great point, Pete. This is very much bipartisan. This isn't one party or the other. It's a bipartisan problem that Democrat and Republican voters need to get involved in and tell politicians enough. Work on our problems, not yours.
Well said. Dave Trabert, Kansas Policy Institute. Always great, Dave. Good stuff this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Pete. Take care. Bye.
There you go. Dave Trabert on KCMO Talk Radio, 95.7 FM. We're always streaming on the KCMO Talk Radio app.